Okay, YouTube. Wow, Sly here. Just off out to one of the BOLs. The low ground one we've seen before, with plumbing and sewage plumbed in. Got the BOT with me today on the back of the BOV. And it'll be the first time the BOV's been up this one. Very, very difficult to ride up here with a trailer. Yeah, you can still do it in low gear with one hand. Yeah, I suddenly realised today, all the testing out gear I like doing and recommending, I haven't actually tested out my stove. I've had many a coffee on it, and I think I've done noodles on the pop can stove, but the latest Tobo stove, I haven't actually cooked food. So while I've got a free evening, I'm away up to the bugout location now to set up a little camp and cook my dinner. So I'll do some riding and I'll get back to you shortly. This is one of the obstacles of getting into my BOL. A lot of people would be tempted to walk around this. I mean, it's only a jump over. We've jumped over one and it wasn't this wide, so I could just drag the trailer over it. But this one's a bit wider, so I've had to unhitch the trailer after coming through all that lot, and then carry the bike over the trailer, and there's the pitch just over there. So I've just got this last one to cross the small one of them up over there. Yeah, it's not an obstacle, you know, it's just I don't know, it's just one of those things. See if we can do it while videoing. There we go. Lucky I got the old long legs. So that's the bike clear. The trailer will be the difficult one because I've actually got to take the weight off the trailer. But as I said before, the last one I had to cross, I could just drag the trailer across. So this one, I'm going to physically stand in it. There you go. And pick the bike up and then pivot, pick the trailer up and then pivot 180 degrees. Right, I don't think it's worth actually connecting the trailer back up. And all the wood, no, I'll walk over and show you all the wood that I gathered last time I was here. It's still here. This is where I come doing some filming for channel for the TV thing a while ago. Nearly said it. They sent me a contract to sign today. Not allowed to show clips or talk about anything. There's the firewood. This was here weeks ago when I came up here doing some filming, and a few months before that it was untouched at the time before I came up that. So going by the pile of wood that I keep leaving, it's not many visitors up here. So we're at the BOL, we've got the BOT and the BOV is just over there, so we're going to go retrieve that. Coming in a different way today, instead of coming in from that direction, which I believe is south. We pretty much came in from the east. We walked past the normal entrance point, straight through the, as you can see the trees run lined straight up there, just to, you know, it's a bit overgrown over there, it's a bit too dense for the trailer, and then dropped in from the, well, basically from the north side today. So we've come in from a different location. didn't actually make that much difference. And just hopped over a couple of streams. So we'll get set up quickly and get some food on the go. Right, pretty much in the other videos I have my camo tarp set up there, but my first point of call today was ground sheet out. This is the black rubberized, so it's sort of waterproof, and then heavy nylon so it shouldn't rip very easy. So I've dropped that out straight away. It's on the side of the bag so I can get my gear out without putting anything on the ground, getting it dirty or mucky, and no infestation from twigs and leaves and stuff. I normally get home and have to empty out loads of twigs and leaves, so ground sheet down first. So I've just hung up the green tarp. Haven't actually featured for a long time. It's just a mid-range, it's not cheap, certainly wasn't dear. It's my drain corner away from the camp. Got it paracord with the S-hook on one tree, the rear, and then bungee out to paracord. The green bungees are actually on the trailer at the moment. I should swap them over and get the green ones out and put the blue ones on the trailer. Have a front corner, just bungee to a tree, so it's got some movement. It's tight enough though. And then the far corner for drainage, got paracord on the S-hook all the way around the tree, and then just hooked onto a old broken branch there. So I've got my highest points, medium, and then the lowest, so everything drains down into this tree here. But that's mainly only today for, I might actually raise it a little bit. I mean, at the moment it's only chest height, so I might raise it a bit, but I can slide that under now. It's just to stop anything from hitting me, really. Nothing's came down here yet on me, but I'm sure at some point an acorn or something will. So we just brutally slide everything under. That's the little pouch I normally carry, paracord. I've got sections of it with eyes tied in at each end. I normally carry them in there just so I know I've got 4 sections in there, or 3 or 4, always cut to length. Be trying that out on the stove, the usual all-day breakfast. So I haven't got the pole out yet, the homemade pole. If I didn't have all the trees, I probably would have to use a pole. But I'm making use of the trees today. If you're wondering what's in there, it's toilet paper. I keep that with the shelter type stuff because you never know. And I have actually got a can opener with me. Bought that today because I haven't used the one on the Swiss Army knife. And all the years it's been on there, I've had the knife God knows how many years. I don't think I've ever used the can opener. The knife's in my EDC at the moment. I used the bottle opener a few times, the screwdrivers and a knife, but I've never actually used the tin opener. So if the tin opener fails on the Swiss Army knife, I've got the old standard one I've just bought from home tonight as a secondary sort of fallback on. In the past I have used large knives for opening tin cans. I think I mentioned it before. I walked over to South Down once, took a lot of tin cans with me and I forgot a can opener. And I've had a tiny little unlockable pocket knife. I actually had, I think it was like an 18-inch diver's knife, and the little foldable 1.5-inch blade was too small to open up cans, so I had to spend the whole few days on the South Downs opening up my cans with an 18-inch long diver's knife. Of course, that's with the shelter, because if I do have to knock up at night, that's at the top of the bag with my headlight. I can put the headlight on and hang that straight away from a tree. So if I was here for the night, well, it wouldn't hang on the drainage tree, but it would just hang up on a tree. That's my drainage tree over there. So all that can go back in there. Again, bit of advice for everyone: whatever you're not using, don't get out. When you finish using it, put it back in. Got my knee pad and my saw shovel at the bottom, and again food at the top. Quick access. Middle section's just with gloves, thermal gloves, hats, cap, socks, some random clothing in there. Oh, and the waste part of the bag is still in the trailer. I haven't actually needed to get that out yet, but I will do now. That's got my fleece on it, my tea, coffee, sugar, and water. For all you Julies out there, didn't go and forget your water. First aid kit, brew kit, stove, water, fleece, tea, coffee, sugar, small rope, waterproofs, and there. Oh, and of course tools, my tool bag, and my saw. I don't think I've forgotten anything. And that's it. Got the vehicles over there. And camp. And even the branches that I took off a few months ago from a fallen tree that I used to cover up the back of the camouflage shelter, just to cam it up a bit more with more natural surrounding. That's still untouched. So for a few months no one's really been here. Saying that, I bet our screen van turns up now. Right, a little rundown. That's the heaviest part of moss down there. A good 2-3 inches of moss, so that's where I'd sit and sleep. This is where fires would be. As you can see, there's a bit of a hole there. If you're having a fire pit, you can cover it back over, or out in the clear. So I've got my canteen there, my hobo stove there, just to give a chance for smoke to dissipate before actually contaminating your gear, because you know, it's inevitable you're going to smell smoke, but the least smoky smell off the better. So that's where I'd cook and so on. I think I might have a coffee. It's still a bit early to eat. Actually 6 o'clock. Yeah, I might make a brew with the meth stove, and then luckily I still got wood here, which has been here for weeks now, so this has got to be dry enough, if not rotten enough. Yeah, this has been here for weeks, so I'm going to snap all this up and cook with that, but I'll just make a brew now. With the meths, I think. Not sure. That's what's nice about having choices. As I've mentioned before, the radio's going. As I've mentioned before, place is covered in these little streams, which is fantastic. Now this one I think is just irrigation for the field there. It's just grazing, there's no crops. And then there's the other woods over there. There's like 3 sections of woods together, and I'm in the middle one. Yeah, there is a footpath around the outside of it. Get the odd walker and rambler. But I'll just show you quickly me from a distance, because I have seen the odd person passing from over there. I don't want to be too far in the woods, but if I stay still you can't see me. But that tarp is sticking out a lot more than the other one. I've been here before when I've had the camo tarp up, and well, both I suppose not as bad as each other. But yeah, I must have to get some camo netting. I've been debating on camo netting for quite a while, and yeah, I think I'm definitely going to get some camo netting now. I mean, I have got the old tree there falling down, I can cut bits off, but I'm not always going to have that opportunity of like, again, if I want to cut down some branches about 25 foot up in the air to use as camo. It's just lucky that there is a fallen tree next to the camp that I can actually get donations from to build up and use as camo. Well, that's not going to be there forever, so I must invest, I think, on some camo netting. It's not that visible from the footpath. Not many people walk down there. It's just peace of mind, really. Well, that's a hell of a fallen tree there. Apart from the obvious. I did see it a few weeks ago, but I never actually realised how big it was, because this is the way I normally come in and out. There's some good weekend there at Firewood. Certainly wouldn't like to sleep under it. Right, the 360. Start off there, little stream, well, and then one further over there. Vehicles, trailer, or vehicle trailer, fire, blah blah blah, camo, and back to camp. And that's it. That's what the ground looks like, and that's what the sky looks like. And this is what my knife looks like when I throw it into a tree. Oh, she's in there alright. And that was a gentle throw. That's my throat height. Obviously I'm tall. If I'm throwing with an extended arm, I'm going to get a kill shot. But that's in there. A good inch. So what I'm just doing now is I've just tied up a length of paracord from tree to tree, and with the leftovers from a while ago, just going to hang them from a bit of paracord just to break up the tarp from anyone that walks down that way. Not going to go OTT, just stick a couple here just so it breaks up the single line. I think where it slopes away there was the most visible bit, so we're just going to tidy up and cover that up a little bit. There we go, not fantastic, but enough not to stick out too much. Again, there was quite a distinctive green line from behind me. So now, I mean, I've got this massive tree stump here to hide everything on the ground side, and you know, every little helps. I could go over OTT, but I'm just out here having a quick bite to eat. I'm not really bothered if someone walks by us and sees me. But bug out situation, that tree there would be cut to pieces and be hanging up all around the perimeter, just to break up obviously outlines. And I certainly wouldn't be using the blue bungees with the orange hooks. I just used the green paracord I've got. Where is a bit? It's not the 550 stuff, I admit it is only the cheap stuff. I think it's 200. But at the end of the day, it's green, and it's strong enough for what I want. I only use it for slinging up my tarp, or might have to tie a bit of kit up, or tie up some firewood. I don't need enough tarp to hang 4 people off if I'm not really using it for that purpose, and probably never will actually need to use it for that purpose. So, without a doubt, been here long enough. It's time to get brewing. That one's got a tiny bit missing. Right. Actually, we'll leave that there and come back for that. There you go. And then the mess tin on my cup sits on top. There we go, from a sitting down position. If there was a fire over there, well, again, I'm only cooking, but I've got no, I'm not going to knock it over with my feet, or if I knock something over the vicinity of where I'm sitting, so I'm not going to knock over anything I'm cooking or knock the fire over. Nothing's going to spit into me, hot bubbles or sparks on wood. So please, you know, make sure you're a good length from the fire. You know, if it was chucking it down and there was a risk of that getting soaked, I would normally use my big tarp for where I am, and this green one is the one I'd hang up over the cooking area. But I was looking at a British Army basher last night online, so I might be replacing this soon. This might be coming down, getting put away, and I'll use a basher, smaller and lighter, and again they're camoed. So I might keep the big one I've got because I just love, you know, having a massive shelter. But I might remove this green tarp. Yeah, I might invest in a proper basher. And then of course I can use that for cooking, for a bit of shelter. Hopefully I can get this on camera, but there's deer down there. I'm going to try and zoom in. I should grab the binoculars, I can hear something running around. And I don't want to stand up and look, but it's just there. There's two of them, one's just gone to the right, one's coming in from the left. There he goes. Wow. It's the closest I've been to wild deer for a while. Ah, damn it. I don't think you got them when I zoomed in. But yeah, there was a foal, a young one. A bit difficult to see for the trees, but they were definitely there. They've just come straight across the line. Actually, if I zoom out and show you. They've just come straight across, got to there, and then shot off that way. I know there's one. Jesus, one's still there. There was three of them. I just saw two walk off, the two light coloured one, and there's the darker one. I'm not a deer expert, but maybe the darker one's a male. There was one the same size as that one there. He's looking right at me. It was light coloured tan, and a younger one that was light coloured. That thing's quite grey. Can't zoom in anymore. There he goes. That's a deer. Should have brought the rifle. See how close we can get before we spook him. He's so hard to see because he's literally is the same colour as all the freaking trees. And now he's gone behind a tree. I probably won't see him now. There he goes. I can see him. The only real chance I've got of knowing where he is when he moves and I can hear him. There he is. Nah, really hard to see on this camera. Well, that was a bit of an interesting moment. It's been boiling like that for a few minutes, and there's a tiny bit of fuel left in there, so I'm just got to let it burn itself out. But I don't think I'll be actually cooking with wood tonight. There's wildlife out here, and I don't think it's right. Well, I do want to test it out, but you know, I don't want to freak out the animals by having burning wood. So we'll have to wait and see. Right, from just there, I've just dragged over this tree branch. One end was covered in moss, so I'm going to chop off all the little branches with the knife, saw it into sections, and make myself a wind protector and reflector, heat reflector for the fire that I'm not having. But it's just the right thickness and the right length. I think to cut into like a couple of foot lengths. Okay, there's the first upright in. I'm going to have two at the front of the wall, put the sticks in, and then one coming down at the back. All I've done is sharpen both sides. You have to make a point, just make it a bit easier to push into the ground. You don't want to try and be turning it and screwing it in, it'll just make a hole bigger and it'll wobble. So I've sharpened up that one the same, like a wedge. Again, you don't need to do a spike. Spike will keep it more stable. Go for roughly the longest looking one. Measure out. Same on that end. About there, and then just push it in. Use your weight to sit on it and let it sink in on its own. No need to force it, it's only a stick. Okay, there's loads of methods on this. This is just my way of doing it quickly today. And then gonna go for the bigger ones first, thicker ones at the bottom because they're heavier, and then just slowly drop them in. Leave the crooked ones for the top. Try and get nice straight ones. Not looking for perfect fit, but you don't want the crooked ones at the bottom. They'll just create too much of a gap between each other, and if it starts doing what happened in here, that one's starting to bend out a bit, don't worry, because you can prop it up later with like a Y-shaped branch, as I'll end up doing, and then showing you what I'll be using that actually. It's a spare bit, so I use that to prop up the back. There we go. Had a random bit with a Y shape at the end of it, so that's just pushed up against it now, holding it steady. I can add to it, but again, I'm a size 10, so my boots are like 12 inches long, so that's over 12 inches long. That's enough to act as a little reflector. The mistake I have made is it's not facing directly into my camp. It's sort of probably gonna, I don't know, come along here, but this isn't generally where I'll have my camp. I don't normally have it up here. It's the first time, so from now on, I mean, this will stay here as no one else comes here, so I can stay here and I'll just have my camp facing it from now onwards. But that'll do. Obviously, again, there's a bungee cord above it, but I'm just doing this for demonstrations. It's took me about 5 minutes to knock that up, and it's rough, not tidy. I can still add another 5 or 6 branches to the top of it, but that'll do. And keep your firewood close. If I had more time, I'd put one on either side coming off on a 45-degree angle. But yeah, I'm not staying here tonight. I might do that next time I'm here. It's multi-purpose, gives you something to do, and any offcuts you have, gather the offcuts up, and before you know it, just by making stuff, you'll have a pile of wood. Again, these have been here for months. These are just offcuts from where I've been knocking things up, playing about. Every time I have an offcut, I'll chuck it in the size. Again, I could cut the top off them and put them in the kindling pile, but you know, I've got the option to go higher now. Just very quickly, I'm just going to hack up half of this fallen tree and stick it across the back of the camp there, because again, that way there's a footpath. So about halfway through now, I'm going to just chop it off, then drag it over and lay it behind for a bit of camo. Whoops, didn't realise how big it was till I cut it. That's about the size of the Christmas tree I normally get. I just swung it around, obviously going to drag it this way. And that's when I realised how big the fucking thing was. The plan is to rest it on that stump. Like so. Thus, now no one can see me from that back. The trees are on an angle, you can't see them through that way. It's only when you see straight through the trees they're going to hit with that bush now, or part of a tree, along with the slight bit of camo I put up to break up the top. So also how to keep fit, cycling here, cutting down a tree, making a little heat reflector. Yeah, it's all pretty good exercise. A mate of mine put on Facebook the other day, joining the gym soon, same as all the other people on there. Fuck joining the gym. If you do what I do on a Sunday, and then it kills me, that's better than any session at the gym. I'll come and do this, certainly work up an appetite. So if anyone's wondering, yeah, equipment I've used so far is I had an all-in-one, I had a last spare all-in-one coffee, but I added sugar. But I always carry sugar, coffee whitener, and coffee. It's a couple of quid for that. The water bottle and the cup and the bag was about £15. I ran it off meths. There's other stoves you can use. That waste bag was about 20 quid. This knife was, you can see it's been in my back pocket. The rubbish has come out and stuck to it. The saw was from Wilkinson's. I can't remember now. About a £5. That I've had about 17, 18 years. I think it was about 65 quid when I first got it. And then again, the cup's part of that. You can buy it separately, plastic one, metal one, whatever. And again, you can pick a tarp up for a £5, go to a pound shopper and get a really cheap £1. So sort of for the price of a night out on a Friday, you can get the basics you need to come out and set up a little camp, and then work on it from there. Really. You don't have to go OTT. I mean, I used to use a pound shop ground sheet until I bought this one. It's actually a picnic blanket, but we won't tell anyone if you don't. And that's the sheath the knife came with. I done the tattoo myself back in the day of Prodigy. The little ant. Bit difficult to see. There he is. Any Prodigy fans will recognise it. And then 2 metres of paracord. No, sorry, a metre. There's 2 metres on there. And a metre on my EDC. And another 10, 20, 30 metres somewhere in the bag. One of the funky things about having... Oh, fuck me, he's got me saying it now. Funky things about having wildlife as your next door neighbour. You don't necessarily have to live alongside of it. You can work with it. Where the deer rub their antlers on the trees, when they got an itch, or to sharpen their antlers, or whatever reason they do it, they knock off all the twigs. So I'm picking these up after they've kindly broken them off and just adding them to my little pile. So I don't actually have to break any twigs up. I'll just go around collecting the ones that the deer have done for me. And as you can see, the place is covered with it. Everything sort of about my rib height. Yeah, I've broken some off while I've been here, but this is the height we're looking at here, nearly shoulder height. All this has been broken off by deers. So yeah, I can just pick that up and add it to my pile without having to actually use the energy of snapping it all myself. Here we go. Doesn't take too long, does it? There's the logs. A few sticks. Sort of if I just want coals for cooking on. Kindling, I'll move it over in a minute. I can start my fire with the kindling. Add the bigger stuff, cook on it. And then when I go to sleep, I'll just chuck the logs on and let them burn. Obviously I need a few more logs, but they were left over from last time I was here. The knife's not going to stay, and I'll use a shovel to dig the fire pit there. Shovel's got a saw on it, which will sharpened up nicely, so I can get through any roots that are in the ground, because this ground is very rooty. Lots of roots in the ground, so I can dig through there, no problem. And again, I've got my baking tray in the base of my bag, which I've mentioned before. If it does rain, I can just suspend a baking tray over the top of the fire pit, just to keep the rain off the fire pit. And I can put my mess tins and cup on the tray, so I've got a nice flat surface for cooking, instead of just shaking the coals even to rest my mess tin on. The baking tray will act as a nice platform for cooking. It's starting to look a bit tidy now. I'm actually laying there today with my feet pointing at it. It's not a bad angle actually to inject some heat into the airflow. But again, I'll have to shift that from that tree, the guideline there, shift it to where I've got my air coat drying out, airing out. Didn't actually use it, but yeah, I might shift that now actually. Starting to turn into popping out to test the stove for 5 minutes to building a full-on camp. If I don't go home tonight, my missus is going to kill me. Right, best start getting on with testing. As I say, I want to test out that's my EDC. I use the light multi-purpose for my bike, personal stuff, a little bit of a first aid kit. There's another video on my EDC. I've just changed the bag it comes in. This is my Low Pro 35 quid's worth of memory card holder for my camera. It makes a fantastic EDC. 2 meters of power cord, some other bits and bobs, charger for my phone, some tablets, matches, blah blah blah, spare batteries, and knife. So we're going to try out this can opener and see if it'll actually open up a can of all day breakfast. If not, I've got my backup can opener in my bag, but for now we'll give this one a go. Well, it worked a treat. I've got the little army issue fold up can openers, but I've wanted to use one of my knife for a while. I've gone just over the halfway mark, so probably, yeah, let's do it that way, the 9 o'clock position, purely because I don't want to remove it completely. If I remove it completely, I've then got a sharp object lying around the camp, and again I have to pick up everything I take home. So I take home 2 bits of rubbish when I can leave it attached, just fold it out, get my gunk out, and then fold it closed again. Then I've got no need for bagging up sharp items or risk of cutting myself or losing rubbish. You know, I want to try and keep it all tidy. So yeah, chuffed. That works fine. Again, put it away as soon as you finish using it. Don't think, you know, I'm gonna I'll do it in a minute. Put it away straight away. That way you can't lose anything. Yeah, I've got a lot of stuff out at the moment. Tea and coffee's fine. The knife I'm using constantly. But yeah, try and keep as much gear packed away as possible. If you finish using it, put it away. Right, standard cheapy old knife, fork and spoon set. There are a lot better quality ones out there. There are more lighter ones. There's even folding ones. But I use this because this is the one I was using when I was a kid. I've used it all my life and I'll always keep using them. They look together. Swedish Army use them, British Army used to use them, not sure if they still do. But again, for cooking, I'm going to go back to my long spoon because I can leave that in there. It won't fall into the pan and the handle's exposed to the elements so it stays cool. If I put a short handle spoon in there, you know, it contracts the heat, can't pick it up, and I risk dropping it in the food. So this is not just for teas, it's for cooking too. A bit hard to see, but you can see all the flames in there kicking around. It's doing its job. Again, it burns half full. It burns for about 15 minutes. I think a good 10-12 minutes when that meth stove is halfway full of fuel. So a good 10-12 minutes. So that's ample time to cook up some beans, sausages, and so on. If I need to add more fuel, light it again, I can, or I can just fill up the hobo stove with sticks and set fire to that. My fire starting kit is not really gone through it before. Tampons, cotton wool, paraffin, matches, don't know, random stuff. I've got no problem with lighting fire. Don't need char cloth. Got plenty of these dry leaves to use if need be. But we'll cook. Whoop, better start. That'd be a good start, wouldn't it? Having it all burnt. Yeah, it's only been alight a couple of minutes and it's bubbling already. So I'm going to put the phone away, stop videoing and keep an eye on that while I'm burning my dinner. So a little tip. Found out where the hot spot is. Got a lot more bubbles in this corner. So I'm pushing all the solid food up into that corner and stirring it. Because this half isn't really a hot spot. Just the way I've got it. It's, the stove's not centered, so it's obviously heating up that side of the mess tin more, which is great for cooking, so I can focus on cooking the big bits and letting the beans this side just cook themselves. There we go, same as the coffee, just got a tiny little bit left there, so I'm going to let that burn itself out. I'm not going to bother putting it out. I could let this cook a little bit longer, but it's cooked more than enough. If I keep it on the heat, it's just going to evaporate. It may look like slosh, but it's food. And if I had to bug out, at least I know my gear will do me well. So all these people that have got their bug out bags and their bug out plans, test them out, put them into practice. The last thing you want to find out is that your stove don't work. You can't put a tarp up. Your saw doesn't work. Your lights don't work. I mean, I came here last time, packed up in the dark, so I had to use all my lights and then cycle home with the lights. So I've got multiple lights. I must have 7 torches on me. 2 backlights for the bike in case one doesn't work. There we go, that's out now. There's the other mess tin in there. That's my ration mess tin. In there I've got 6 Mars bars, 3 sachets of porridge and 3 packs of noodles. So that's 72 hours really. Morning porridge and a Mars bar, and for lunch I can have noodles and a Mars bars, and for my supper a Mars bar, or I can mix it up. But I've got 3 days worth of food in my bug out bag all the time. Pretty much all my locations for bugging out I've got fresh water, but I do tend to carry water with me. I've got 2 pairs of leather gloves, both thermal. I've got my work gloves, cleaning facilities, 2 space blankets, 2 tarps, a ground sheet, and transportation. Right, I'm gonna start eating now. But first, if you do swap over food, clean this one straight away. Don't eat and then clean up. That'll be all hard and dry. So wipe it all off now while it's wet, and also we'll use a bigger spoon or fork to eat. But yeah, wipe that off now before it gets dry. Same when you finish eating, wipe it up as soon as you finish eating. Don't give it 5 minutes, don't have a cigarette, don't go and take a piss, then come back and clean up. Clean up the second you finish eating. Make life so much easier. There we go, all shiny and clean. All the rubbish, all the wipes I've used are in there. And that'll go back inside the other mess tin. Well, that will go inside that mess tin. But you don't have to use baby wipes. In with my food, I've got a scour, kitchen scour sponge with the green on it. I've cut down, it was originally that size, and I've cut it sort of in half. It's about that big, just because I don't need a whole one. So I could, boil up a coffee, which I'm going to do now. I'm going to have a coffee to wash it down with. But if I didn't have the wipes with me, I would put more water in there than I need for the coffee, and then pour a bit in there, then go around it with a scourer, rinse it out, and then have a coffee. So there's a couple of ways you can do it. Failing that, I could go out to the stream over there, wash up in the stream, or collect water and boil it to clean up. So I've got 3 options with me today. It's nice to have options, as I've said before. But main thing is, it's cleaned up, rubbish is packed away nice and neat. and the kit's all going back in the bag now. There we go, simple really, keep it tidy, only get out what you need. Again, I've got a lighter on me, I've got matches, I've got a lighter in my pocket, I always smoke, but I carry a lighter with the water, with my cooking facilities. Again, I've got that on a platform, so if I'm using sticks, I can still get some air coming up from the bottom, but I'm not actually using any sticks today, so I might remove that because it's not needed. Bit more than I needed. Don't need that much. I've put half a bottle in there. Normally I need I can get 3 cups of coffee out of that, but because I'm videoing, I've a little bit more in there than I wanted. So now I've got the coffee on the go. Again, this is going straight away. I don't need to be leaving things lying out for me to trip over or stand on a break. There's my fire starting kit. Put it away if I don't need it. Keep it tidy. Sun's going down over there now. So I'll have this coffee and pack up. As I said, I'm not here for the night. I just came out here to test I can actually cook with one of those mess stoves. Obviously the twig side of things is going to cook a meal because you can just keep adding, but there's a lot of controversy. A lot of people say you can't cook with those pop can stoves or beer can stoves. People say you can't cook in them. I've already filled mine up halfway, and let's just say I was eating my beans going because I didn't let it cool down. So yeah, and I let the flame burn itself out for a few minutes. So I'm quite happy knowing I can cook with a pop can stove, beer can stove, homemade meth stove, alcohol stove, so many different names, so don't quote me. I'm capable of collecting fire. I already know from history that I can start a fire. I don't need to make a fire. I'm capable, more than capable. The bug out trailer is fantastic. This is a 3rd or 4th time now I've been out with it. I broke it in by cycling along the canal with all the gear in it, and then I used it on a Sunday DX activation. Took the radios up on the hill, and now I've brought it out to basically the bug out location, and it's working fantastically. So all the gear I've tried out, apart from a couple of things. Haven't actually tried out the toilet roll yet, just haven't been on location long enough. Haven't tried out the baking tray, but it speaks for itself. Flat surface over a non-flammable surface over a fire. Obviously it's not going to catch fire, and it's going to keep water off. But I've used it before for the meth stoves to go on. Nice stable surface. I mean, why risk putting something on an unstable surface? Actually, I have used it before for cooking on my old hobo stove. I had tent pegs in the ground, sticking out higher than the stove. Then I put the baking tray on top of that, and I cooked on that. That was a few months ago up on the hill. So yeah, I've used the baking tray. Yeah, pretty much all my kit has been tried and tested. And yeah, I'm happy knowing that if I had to bug out for 72 hours, even with the basic setup I've got, I could quite happily bug out for 72 hours and come home happy. I haven't actually got a sleep kit with me. My sleep kit pretty much fits in another rucksack, but I wouldn't bring my sleep kit if I was bugging out. If I was bugging out, I'd bring the 2 bags. I've got the trailer because it makes it more convenient, but if I had to abandon the trailer and bike, I could easily abandon them and carry the bags by foot. The trailer's just there for an added bonus. So before anyone says I shouldn't rely on it, I don't need to rely on it. All my stuff fits in a waste bag and a 20 litre tactical assault bag. And I've even got, a jumper, fleece, 3 pairs of gloves, hats, high vis, change of socks, and of course my sleep kit is that German Army sleep suit, a sleeping bag, but I'm invested in soon on one of those sleeping bags with the emergency blanket inside of it. So instead of buying like a thick sleeping bag for the winter, a thin one, I'm just going to mix and match what I've got. So that's just my bug out bag really. Back on location. Unfortunately I haven't been able to show much of this place recently. 2 reasons. I don't want to give its location away, and again, done a bit of filming here, and until I know what's going on with that, I can't talk about it, because I know they're watching the YouTube channel because they found me on YouTube. So there's my my BOL, my BOB, my BOV, and my BOT. Party on. I've had to put my headlight on. It's not too dark, but that's low. Well, flashes on high, that's high power. Give it a zoom, or low power, so I can use that at night, and it won't blind me, and I can see, or I can open it up. Again, it's not red, but it is nice and low, and again with the zoom in facility, it's less likely to blind me as well. Again, that's low power. There's high. And there's zoom on high. Again, it's not going to be fantastically bright. That's low power. Because it's still quite daylight here. It's just the phone's struggling to pick it up. But I just thought, cool, that is bright. Low. I thought if I'm going to video, I'm going to need a light. Yeah, half the water evaporated away because I was waffling. There we go, YouTube. I knew I'd end up packing up in the dark. That's the strap from my ground sheet, because all I've got to do now is wrap up the ground sheet and clamp it to the side of the bag. I've got the light out ready. It's ready to go on my bag, on my waist. I've just got to drink my coffee and then rinse it out, and I'm ready to go. I'll have a cigarette and a coffee. So there's the main light. The camera's not picking it up very well. It's multi-purpose, handy for day to day. You know, crawling into loft spaces, tunnels, underneath cars, whatever. Fits in the bike perfectly. So that's on the bike, ready to go. We'll get the backlight on when I'm near the road. But I'm going to leave a different way today. I'm going to leave on the oh, I don't know. No, I'm going to go the normal way. Just got to finish this and get going. So, thanks for watching. It's been a great afternoon. I should have came out earlier. Spent a bit longer out here. Built the old fire heat reflector. Got a bit more kindling stacked up ready for any event I need to bug out. Failing that, I'm coming out the door all night soon. It's starting to keep me awake. I need to come down here and get some dirt time at night. So for now, thanks for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. And check out my Facebook group. See it as the Fan Preppers.